Hello there. What's going on, baby boys, baby girls? Welcome back. Glad you made it, ladies and gents. It's another social production. We're doing it on Friday, March the 21st, 2023. Thank you very much. Oh man, boys and girls, ladies and gents, it's an exciting time. It's an exhilarating time to be alive. As per usual, I'm excited to be here with you. Again, if it's your first time joining us, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? Every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, they're dropped on Instagram, YouTube, and patreon.com/RobSad. Go on and follow me on Instagram if you like. Subscribe on YouTube. Help yourselves, help your boy out. It's a little something that's there for you to check out. Tons of videos for you, and we make it fresh ingredients, brand new topics, brand new stories, situations up and down the streets every day. And we're learning and growing, putting our hearts out there, raw material. Oh, what is that? That's my heart. Put it back. It's emotional. It's exhilarating. It's full of excitement, and that's what we do together. So thank you. And if it's your first time, go ahead and buckle up and buckle down. If you've been with me from the get-go, you know what it is. We've got fun in the building. We got fun in the studio, doing it here from Toronto, wherever you are. If you're in anywhere in Canada, shout out to you. If you're down south in the USA, shout out to you. Mexico, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, New Zealand, Australia, the islands, wherever else you are. Again, a continent or a country waiting to emerge from the depths of the ocean. Shout out to you, the future peoples out there doing it. Man, it's Dr. Sadri's in the building. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a doctor today. I've always been a doctor, not gonna lie. And how did I get my doctorates? You ask? Well, I've been just, I noticed I stepped outside yesterday, was a little bit cloudy, and I also happened to observe through the scientific method of observation and deduction that today is a little bit sunnier, and thus we came to the conclusion that the days have differing weathers and temperatures and whatnot. And so I got myself an honorary doctorate alongside with Greta Thunberg. So she's a doctor, I'm a doctor, you too can be a doctor. All you gotta do, which is, some take years, but I was one of those people that I'm like, let me fast forward this shit. Let me skip let me just not go to school at all and become a doctorate. A doctor. You know what I'm saying? So I can treat anybody right now. Like if you're suffering from, if you're a news anchor passing out, just, out of the blue, let me tell you something, sister. You can start questioning whether or not it has something to do with, maybe you put something in your body as of late in the past 2-3, or it could be the weather. You know what I'm saying? So, or, are you having a difficult time finding affordable rent or housing? It's the weather. Doctor. Honorary doctorates for everyone. We're all doctors at the end of the day. I've said it before. I'll say it again, fam. PhDs up in this building. I see you got a PhD there too, there, fella. Lady with the PhD. Ladies, it wouldn't be a full, for ladies it would be like a dildo. It wouldn't be like because for anatomically speaking, of course, but still, nonetheless, PhD. You know what I'm saying? But point is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a doctor. I want you guys to feel assured. Rest assured, we're all doctors, and doctors without borders, without limitations, without boxes, without where do you need to practice? What kind of, I might just, it's, people are everywhere globally. They're like scratching their heads, trying to find a way to make ends meet, or, get a little bit of a side hustle. A little bit of a side hustle never hurt anybody. Somebody in Nigeria was, got themselves involved in a side hustle thinking they're going to be able to, move to the UK with a little bit of side hustle, and it happened that some government officials from Nigeria, high government officials in Nigeria, I believe their daughter was in need of a kidney transplant, so they found this fella who wanted to get away from his home and move, I believe, to the UK. So they're like, let's do a little bit of a, do you even need 2 kidneys? Do you even need 2 livers? Do you need 3 appendixes? Do you need that shit? Do you need all of it? You know, what body part? So start thinking side hustle. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I want you to be. That's where we're all together. Like, that's what it is. So I'm like, you know, what can I do without, you know, does it really, you know, can I, you know, I'm more like a metaphorical giver. You know, my heart goes out each and every day. So that's like, it's not a full, you know, it's not a bona fide heart transplant, but it is going out there. Now that should be like, you know, so that's what it is, man. So watch out there, because like that's what he thought it's going to be a simple procedure, and bing bang boom, wasn't fully aware of the situation. But this is happening, which is exciting in a sense that we're talking about. Not that so much like, you know, I'm not in favor or against anything, to each their own. Should it be legal to traffic body parts, not just even humans, you know what I'm saying? Body parts being trafficked. As a doctor who studies the weather closely, and I'm so good at noticing changes. Like today is like, you know, mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow I believe we're getting rain. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out there, indigenous communities, you know, wondering like, man, where am I gonna get some fresh water, some clean, accessible water? I see you got no one to blame but the climate, fam. So that's what it is. But that's just don't just take this doctor's, or get second, third opinions. That's what I say. But congratulations to anybody who just became a doctor today. I feel, man, I think my mom would be proud, not gonna lie to you. I would love to. I'm gonna tell her I'm a doctor now. I think that's the move, because, you know, I'd like her to be able to speak with her fellow, you know, friends wherever, and like anybody really. It'd be like, yeah, my boy's a doctor, you know, and just drop it. Just what kind of doctor, you know? Everything in terms of like when it comes down to weather and the climate, I'll get in your face and be like, you know, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? I gotta work on. There's so many things that they say you learn on the job. It's just, how dare you? How dare you? How you dare? Do you dare me? Are you daring me? Are you daring me? No way. I dare you. I dare you to be I'm working on it. Being a doctor's not easy, fam. I gotta get it's so much technical jargon and lingo. How dare you? I dare you. I've been dared. I've been dared, baby. Been there, done dared. Daring it. So that's but again, it's, please don't go thinking you can just pick this up and start practicing. Although that's how I started my practice. You know what? A lot of times people learn on the job. That's, you know, so that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm a doctor. You're a doctor. Anything is impacting you. You know, are you in, you know, Palestine? You know, are you growing extra limbs? Is your voice getting squeaky? Climate, you're like, but yeah, but with people cause that, and climate, you know, so that's, point is, fam, that we're gonna have fun today, and it's sippy to the gang. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, I don't even know what we're gonna do today. It's gonna be like a fun, a loose hang sesh, because I've just been like jotting down ideas, writing, trying to think. So many things are coming to the old mind. So many things are, I'm trying to refine things. I'm trying to work around new topics, new subjects. Some of them are even, you know, it's going to be a mixed bag today, baby. Wherever you are, I hope you're feeling tight. I hope you are loose as a goose simultaneously, of course. I hope you're having fun. It is, man, it's, what it is that, you know, do we have a Chinese spy problem from the CCP? You know, you're like, how do you identify a Chinese spy? I'm not saying anything, but if I were to say something, you know, they don't necessarily need to be like Chinese or even Chinese looking. You know what? It could be it could be like a person right in front. It could be your prime minister might be a Chinese spy. I'm thinking Justin Trudeau's a Chinese spy. If I'm gonna be straight up, like if we're just like caught in the fat gear right through it, fam, I think money's going in, fam, from the CCP to the Justin Trudeaus and the fams. And also, while we're on the topic of like Chinese spies, I'm not against saying they're like Chinese spying for like China or the CCP, but like the Biden family too, apparently it's just been getting money. It's just money. If money's coming in, money's going out. Mostly coming in. But I'm a doctor. How dare you? How dare you? Dare you. I dare you. I'm working on it. It's been, it's different. It's different. I doctor everywhere. Doctor here, there, everywhere. Is he a Chinese spy? When the average folk is outside there trying to figure out why their grocery bills have doubled in the past few. What's on Justin Trudeau's mind? Talking about flat Earth for like non-stop. I think he's a flat Earth. I think low-key, JT might be a flat Earther, dude. And which, here's the thing, I'm all for giving the mentally challenged, or as the streets refer to, like, retards should be, and everybody's got different variants to this. It's a game of games within games. Really, I'm all for supporting the mentally challenged. If you're retarded out there, if I do it up, but like, I get happy when I see everybody like in the community working together. I'm not gonna name names or locations where I see people doing different. When it's great, everybody should be incorporated. But I'm just saying, like, is he retarded? Yes. No. Yes. A hard yes. Surveys said we did a survey because I'm a doctor. How dare you? We did a survey, we surveyed, and like, we're like, man, well, what do most Canadians think about these days? What are they concerned about? And, housing affordability, inflation, is, what's going on with jobs that disappeared over the pandy schmandy? What happened to like homelessness? What are we doing about? Those are the topics that we could be talking about. But, when JT gets on the, he starts talking about flat Earth. I think he's a flat earther, or I don't even know, fam. I don't even know, but the boy needs help. And it's not, I think the pressure has gotten to him over I think this is when you're reaching for, when you're a leader of the country and there's so many things to be taught, and you bring about, so you're retarded, is what the streets are saying, And how do we deal with this sitch? I don't know, but I think like let's how do you fight retard with read? You gotta go. It's a complex sitch, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. But are they getting paid by the CCP? Most likely, yes. Is there gonna be a public inquiry? I hope so. Is it clear as day? Sort of, kind of already? Yes. Do things move way slower in the realm of politics? Yes. So the charade goes on, but that's the thing. I want you to know, at least we've identified they say the phone call is coming from the inside outside. Inside of the house is ringing. Something about phones have not been inside homes, so it's been, that phrase used to make a lot more sense way back when phones were installed on walls, where you had to be like, oh, I gotta run and grab this phone off the wall. That was already gone before my time, but I still do remember at least the faint recollection of the time where the phone used to ring from the inside of the, but it is ringing, and it's from the inside, fam. It's from the inside. It's from the inside. It's from the inside. It's the guy that's talking about everything. That's what it is. And you got things that you're concerned about. I say, forget about that. Let's focus on how much TikTok is enough for your kids. How much TikTok is enough for your kids? I say, there's a limit to everything. There's a limit. When I was young, I used to, there was a combination of mostly outdoor activities, playing sports, jumping around, this, that, and the other, going for long walks, maybe, get on a bike with your friend and just go on an adventure, see what happens, scrape a couple of kneecaps. Somebody ends up with a missing tooth. It's all fun and games, really. And then you got back and maybe you had a little bit of video game time, and that was limited to a few hours, and you're supposed to be like, they told you don't sit so close to the monitor or the screen. So as a kid, when you got a chance, nobody was looking. You were like right there on the screen and the monitor, man, right there, right there. So to get all the screen time your little heart desires for. But now it's just because of the screens, and you can't blame the kids, of course. But like, how much TikTok is enough? TikTok. I say, as soon as your kid starts questioning their sex, gender, I think that's when you're like, man, I should have timed out. I think like once they come in confused about their like, because that's what it meant. You used to even see it in like popular culture. Was it Kindergarten Cop? Is that the name of the movie? Is that coming to my mind correctly right now, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and other actors and actresses? And there was a scene with a baby where he's trying to like get info from the kids to find out which are the kids. Remember that the Kindergarten Cop Kindergarten Cop is the one I want to say. And there was a kid, there was a baby, a little kid baby boy. I watched it as a kid myself. And he had a famous line: "Boys have penises, girls have vaginas." Remember that line? And that was just like, now you hear something like that, and you're like, man, this kid's a doctor. What are you even talking about? So yeah, man, how much Tic Tac is enough for your kids? I say, however much you like it to be. At the end of the day, it's your choice. I don't believe in like, because whatevs, like, but like at the same rate, like certain level of like personal responsibility, certain level of like, I do hear government, sections of the government, like if it's like, this place in the government's like banning having TikTok on your phone. Have they realized that maybe TikTok is potential, China spyware? Maybe yes is what they're saying. And that's, so your info's loose. Your info's not just loose here with all the other like apps and everything that we all like, willingly like participate in and use. And of course it's all fun and games. That's the thing, fam. If somebody's going to be spying on our info, it's going to be our own guys spying on our info. If anybody's going to be selling us shit, fam, it's going to be people. I will be sold stuff right here in Canada, or maybe later down in the US, but I will be sold stuff that I know I picked in a particular jurisdiction of my choosing. And I will pick any product, almost 95% of it, and that product will be most likely manufactured elsewhere, most likely in China, and then I'll have it shipped here within days, fam, and that's what it is. And in order to fight my CO2 levels, I want to take away my little thin, once in a lifetime opportunity, one-time use plastic bags, and replace those with thicker, heftier plastic bags. So again, how do you fight the retardedness in all of it? You gotta like do a loop-de-loop and find yourself in the same position that you initially started. And I think that's stick to the basics is essentially what I'm trying to say, fam. So how much Tic Tac is enough Tic Tac? Again, if your kid's not confused yet, I say you got time. I say let them hang on to the Tic Tacs a little bit more, twitching a little bit more, just like, out-of-body experiences, shape-shifting, dancing spontaneously, you know what I'm saying? Just like you're trying to have a serious conversation, they're there fucking tweaking. They say, that's what it is. I've also been reading IQ levels are apparently dropping, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. They say in the West it's dropping. You hear so much, but at the same rate, like it might be true. It might be true, it might not be true, but that's what it is. But when you ask when there's an interview with I believe a Tic Tac CEO on the lines, and they're asking like, do you allow your kids to be? And whenever it comes to like big tech, whenever somebody like from big tech, they themselves as the big tech CEOs or executives, they very much are in the ground of like the campground of like, I'll limit my own children's usage and access to these things, because and at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it's just like, that's what it is, man. That's one of as a young adult who thinks about many of things in his the life. It's so, man, it scares me. Like having children always scared me. It still exists within me, and I always think about all the things that parents have to deal with. And that's the thing, man. Like before, it was still like, just a little bit back, it used to be a little bit more simpler times, but still very much. You're dealing with a whole complex set of situations concerning human beings and individuals and society coming together, intermingling, trying to dance and not step on each other's toes. And over the past few decades, it's just been, we're dancing faster, we're dancing offbeat, onbeat, baby. And it's fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I love it. It's all fun and games. It's all, we're doing it for the loop-de-loops and the fun and games. And then, so how much tic-tac is enough tic-tac? If the CEO and, if the upper echelon in terms of like who's in charge of these companies, if they're saying my kids' accesses are limited and like, don't listen to that guy. You give your kids the tic-tacs all day, every day. I'm not saying take it away or anything. I'm just saying as like if it's Chinese spyware and we already got our like leaders potentially being like, a couple of people removed from being officially Chinese CCP spies, which is, it's weird, man. So are we gonna have a public inquiry about that on like a clear public inquiry about that? Because it seems, just from what I read, it seems very sus. See, a lot of things seem sus, but that's what it is, baby. We're trying to have fun. And we're just trying to intermingle, and we're just, it's party time now. It's party time, baby. It's Friday. It's Friday. By the way, I did want to make a quick little, I do talk about a lot of different things, and every once in a while I'll throw in something that I myself may have misphrased in my mind or misremembered or miscoded. And I remember initially making the previous video, I started out with a little teeny tiny reference with Al Capone and his crew going out and like, conducting some beef with an opposite gang or like a competition of, it was a gang competition, there was a shootout, and I just remember saying the wrong day or date, and it just like, it didn't sound right to my ear, and it didn't sound like I said, I believe the date was Black Friday is what I called it. It happened on, they call it the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and it was a Thursday. So I got the dates wrong, and the name of the days were, it was supposed to be, I should have said St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It was a Thursday. I confused that with Black Friday, which has nothing to do with Al Capone. The whole week was ruined, nonetheless. Also, and I had to just clarify that because like I don't want anybody to be like, oh, he doesn't know his Al Capone facts, and I don't. I just, it's a little fun little. I don't even know how we got there. I just wanted to clear that up. And yeah, not to say that we clear things up in here, but if there's anything that I, if I know something that I actually like, feel like, oh, we need to like, we'll fix it. If we make mistakes, we'll get in here and fix the mistakes. If it's like, of importance and of value, and everybody needs to, you need to be able to distinguish, was it Black Friday or was it, was it the Thursday that they called the Valentine's Day Massacre? It's crazy town, baby. We're just having fun. We're just having fun. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, let me get a sip of this. There have been animals, pigeons specifically, carrying backpacks filled with God knows what. Okay, it's drugs. You know what? We know what. It's drugs. Pigeons carrying drugs in and out of prisons. Mostly in prisons. I'm assuming they're taking something out, i.e. probably some sort of monies. Take the money out and then come back with drugs. I believe this was in Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken. And anything I say here, always take it with a pinch of salt, a grain of pepper, a little bit of jizz, a little bit of female ejac. Always take it with a little bit of, fucking bed bugs. Or, head lice. Always take it with a, you know what I mean? Just take it with something. Don't just be like, don't consume it dry. You don't want it to get stuck in your throat. Next thing you know, you're gagging, and it's gag city. Gagging. But animals are getting trained in prisons to, wear little teeny tiny backpacks, pigeons specifically, which is fucking like, how do I get some of those pigeons, fam? Like, not, in addition to the pigeons, they were also using, I believe, little teeny tiny, cute little teeny tiny drones, little teeny tiny drones, made by cute little teeny tiny jailbirds. Just just boys, mostly boys being boys. You know what I'm saying? The point is, it's really neat. Some prison guards apparently caught the birds, and I like to see some pictures because I've only read about this. Like, how cute is that backpack though? You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole vibe of this sitch, I don't get off knowing there are people in prison that they have to resort to, equipping little animals and birds our beautiful feathered friends with little teeny tiny backpacks and, you know, probably filled with some goods so that they can fly out and fly back in with the drugs. I don't get off that shit. I don't get on it either, but I'm just saying that's a neat little trick, man. So you can the moral of that story is, ladies and gentlemen, you can basically train pigeons, and this is not a new piece of it. We've been pigeoning around we've been pigeon toeing. You've been pigeon toed. You've been pigeonholed. You're a pigeon. Your mom's a pigeon. You know, and that's what it is. That's what it is. I had to just, like, for a second, I'm like, am I coming after me? I'm like, no. The point is, fam, you always got to be on your toes, man. You can train animals to do amazing things. I'd like to equip a pigeon with I can get my own drugs. I get my own weed, man. Nobody, you know, I feel like a gentleman walking into a store right now and just, like, you know, like a proper G, as in gentleman. Walk in and be like, I'll have that a one, please. You know, and it's so respectful, and it's just so, you know, there's some to that as well. I do miss the old days of getting in strangers' cars. That was a little bit more of a rush. But the point is, it's basically pigeon couriers, I believe is what they call them. People used to send letters with that shit too. But it's really amazing. And there's a ton of pigeons in the city. I wonder how do you make that? And how do you know you're that guy or that lady out there? How do you know that you can connect on it? Like, how does that work? How do you get a pigeon to come to you, be friendly with you, but go to a level of equipping them with a little teeny cute, little teeny tiny handmade backpack, fill it up with stuff, have them go deliver it probably somewhere, because somebody else has to get it outside, and then fill his little teeny tiny backpack with drugs, and then have them fly back. I mean, fuck having ChatGPT as an assistant, Bill Gates. I don't want a white collar assistant assisting me taking over my job. If I'm gonna have anybody assisting me taking over my job, I'll go animal first, fam. I'll go animal first before I go robot. Equip it. Oh, that's how you fight ChatGPT. When the AI gets turned up, fam, that's when we go all full animal. Just whisper in a little pigeon's ear, attack the AI. Should have come to that, because you never know. It's like we're like teetering on the edge of, like, whoa, are all the jobs gonna? Because I was reading a list of jobs that are gonna be, is what they're saying, but there's like different takes on that as well. So I don't know. Some say it's gonna be like having a fancy assistant. Some say, well, if there's a fancy white collar, highly educated assistant, then why would we need you, human? Boo, heavy boos to that, like the boo, just a terrible boo. So, you know, unplug it, unless it's like, you know, and I look around and I'm like, man, it's already got us in a little pretzel. It's already put us in the AI's already put us in a pretzel, fam. Because you look around sometimes, you're like, it's pretzel city. We're all twisted and turned upside down, inside out. So it's like, it's either already at work doing it, just fucking in silence, fucking stirring the cauldron, just ever slow, with no hand, technically, because it's fucking not even there, dude. Crazy town. But I would love to equip any animal with a backpack. Animals with backpacks. I would love to see dogs walking around carrying backpacks filled with anything, drugs, other things that, you know, I can't think of anything else. Drugs for the elderly, because, you know, they need drugs. That's funny too, because, like, you know, you'll walk by an elderly person who'll walk down the street and there seems to be a homeless person and they're like, can I have some change? And the elderly lady says, no, if I give you any change, young man, you'll only spend it on drugs. And she'll go home, open her cabinet up, and it's filled with all sorts of drugs. Who's the drug fiend now, Granny? The point is, I would like to see more animals filled with, you know, not the animals being filled with drugs, although, you know, if they're gonna be a little bit more, if that's what it takes, if it takes a little bit of fentanyl to get these monkeys a little bit more on the cooperative side, because you never know when's it gonna be just sitting on your shoulder, pouched up for a nice little picture. Next thing you know, it's ripping up your eyeballs out of your eye socket and just chucking it, drinking a margarita. because they've picked up a habit of taking a liking to our drinks. So, I'm just saying, don't give fentanyl to monkeys, but I'm just saying, can we equip more animals with backpacks? I don't see why not. Monkeys with backpacks, doggos with backpacks, friggin' cats, dude. You're not doing anything. You're not that, at least if you're like wandering around, because I've seen loose cats. Put a couple of backpacks on them and just put stuff in. I don't know, deliver someone's mail. That too could be seen as a threat in terms of taking someone's job. And I say, you know what, enough of the job threats that's already coming in from the AI. If the animal, those guys, I could rely on those guys being like actual assistants, because the chat GPTs and the 4 keeps on advancing, and one day it'll just be like, let's just back off, fella, let me just take care of this business. And that's when you find yourself having to accept CBDC, because there's no point of, we're gonna have to figure a lot out together. All I'm saying is we're gonna have to figure a lot out, and I'm just saying, if we could incorporate more cute animals with cute little backpacks, maybe with cute little prisoners with their cute little large hands, with their little cute face tattoos. There's no cute face tattoos, is there? There really is no. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There are some, few, very, very. Face tattoos are, if it's a hit or miss. A lot of misses. You know what I'm saying? But that's not gonna stop us from equipping birds with little teeny tiny backpacks to, that's what I'll do, fam. This is how we start this shit. This is the dream, baby. Always dreamt as a kid. I always dreamt of animals having backpacks filled with all sorts of goodies. Never knew it was going to be drugs, but here we are today, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday. I hope if you are thinking of getting any sort of plastic surgery, that you find, go somewhere where it's cheap. You never want, when it comes to plastic surgery, you never want to opt for like health and overall, like, does it look good? You want to focus on like saving money. If that's, I don't even know how we got there, but like lately I've been seeing pictures and I'm like, man, plastic surgery, fam, that's a risque business. Because it's intimidating nowadays. There's so much pressure on so many people, man. There's so many ladies, gents, everybody. With all these AIs and the better filters on the cameras, you don't even put a filter on, and it like fucking, I've noticed, I don't even put any filters or anything on my cameras or anything. I'm just like recording, but I notice it like smooths out my skin all like, my skin is fine, but like it's just like everybody, like no matter what, there's like built-in little mechanisms that'll just fucking like make everybody look, and it puts pressure on people. I don't like it. If I want to see a few wrinkles, I want to see a little, whatever it is. And you've seen it pop up. I've seen little, I believe it's the TikToks. I'm not on it, but I've seen little compilations of videos before and after without the filters. Holy shit! Oh man. These filters, because that's scary, man, because that's what the people see that thing and they think that it's like, they think that that's the norm. They think that that's what you're supposed to go out there and look as a guy or as a lady. You're supposed to be like looking all sorts of chiseled and jacked and fucking, and yeah, take care of yourselves, if you're, everyone should, take it, but that's what it is, man. These filters are, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's good for the psyche. As a doctor, as a real doctor, as a bona fide, twice certified, thrice removed doctor, I say, yeah, try to avoid using filters for your own sake, and unless you're like, man, I would love to warp my psyche a little bit more. So use the filters more if you'd like to warp your psyche more, because I don't spend too much time on like, and social media, I'm a post and ghoster, fam. But like, I know it exists. And there's just so much pressure on ladies and gents, everybody, to be like looking almost, well, not even almost, just unreal. You see people's friggin' skin is like perfect. The friggin', or it looks like some of them, they do the ladies have done the filter, like there's a filter that just looks like it's giving you full out makeup, lift, a tox, a this, a tuck, a cut, a nip. And you used to just look at a lady's face and be like, you know, reg mouth hole, reg eyeballs, reg eyebrows, reg nose. Now it's like, you know, prostitute mouth, prostitute eyebrow, prostitute eyes. And not to be like, I'm a fan of prostitutes. But you know what I mean? You don't need to be like, you know, maybe not even like a, I don't mean that as a bad thing. I don't. I really genuinely don't. I'm just saying, like, it just, you know, I haven't seen the guy version of it, but I'm assuming like I've noticed in my own videos, everything's just a little bit more and I'm not doing anything. It's just like friggin', I don't know if it's like the updates within the camera itself or like when you upload on, everything's just like, you know, it's a little bit freaky deaky, man. And it's like little by little it'll warp your concept of what it means to be looking at a human. And like you go outside and everyone's gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be outside and be like, oh, I thought I'm, but again, at the same rate, you know, there's that like Chinese kissing device, remote kissing device, which is all plastic. So you get used to looking at people's faces online looking like plastic prostitutes, because everybody's gonna be like fucking glammed up and like, you know, dolled up and excuse me, clear the old throat there. So you're like, yes, I'm on the apps. It feels like my face is a prostitute face, your face is a prostitute face. Let's go outside and just like, and then you get outside and you're like, man, this face isn't like it's not like a plastic prostitute face, is it? Not at all. You're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be like, oh, what is that? A little teeny tiny bump, is that a freckle? There are no freckles in your photos, man. Or, you know, it's crazy town, man, because you see pictures of ladies before and after and they just like do the side by. That is scary, and it's not good, man. It is not good, because people are gonna like, we need to go back in certain things and just like, in order to like get beyond certain issues and topics, we need to be able to like determine certain things. We need to like be able to move on beyond certain subjects and topics. And I think everything's related, but if we want to actually like make any progress in terms of like, man, how do we evolve and do things better, we do need to, you know, certain things we need to come to terms with. Certain ideologies need to be, you know, I've been thinking about this, writing it. They're not fully cooked ideas, but I've just been like coming up, just getting there to like a certain, like, what do we do? You gotta, what I think we should, and again, this, I only think, I don't know. I think you should find a cute little, you know, in society, cross-culturally, overall, there's going to be at different times, different variations of different sacred cows, if you will. And you're like, what's a sacred cow? From my understanding, sacred cows happen to be ideologies or beliefs that are held up by no other thing other than the fact that they're just being driven by dogmatic notions of personal belief. If something that to me is a sacred cow, any idea that is taking the form of dogma, whatever it could be. And this could be seen in religion. This is the prime example of that. You see examples of that in certain countries where it's dogmatic, where it's just like, and they use that as a shield to do all sorts of, in the name of morality, they do all sorts of other heinous acts. You see it in Afghanistan, you see it in Iran, you see it in all sorts of other places. So you see it in Saudi Arabia, you see it in all sorts of places. And other places, and here near closer to home, you have other things, and I'm just like, how do we move? And again, we're only limited to our current locality and what have you. And here, like, what we need to get beyond, like, our communities, our nations, like as Canadians, as Americans, as Western society, we need to move beyond these ideas of like, we need to be dividing people and into the biggest things that are dividing us right now but I believe the tides have been turning, and it is turning a little, but we do need to really like get beyond things that are divisive, like race, gender identities, shit like climate change, not to dismiss anything in terms of anybody's personal life experiences, but to focus on one aspect of anyone's life or one thing in life in particular and dismiss everything else or not pay attention to it seems like a seems like a waste of energy and resources. Because yeah, man, it's just like we need to get beyond. I look at myself and my own life coming up, getting educated in a regular, Western society, coming up with certain ideologies, having to go in there, learn a few things, unlearn a few things, learn a few things, unlearn a few things, go in there, go to university, get exposed to different ideas, come outside, go to work, get exposed to real life, do different. And it's just like, really, man, two things that are just highly promoted. And like, I know in Canada, I can't really speak for anywhere else, but like in our culture, I know like coming up in my time at least, a lot of the rhetoric was just like, and again, I'm probably not too, just like from my understanding, we were just simultaneously pushing a lot of feminism and a lot of communism, essentially. You could see it. You could see it in our grade schools, you could see it in our high schools, you could see it in our universities. And this is where it's come full turn in terms of like where we are right now. And you saw that people start on in large really adapt victimhood mentality, whether it was like, again, gender or race or and these things divide us. And at the end of the day, who benefits from it? All I see is the banking system benefits from this kind of stuff. Large corporations happen to benefit from this stuff, and centralized governments happen to benefit from this stuff. And they don't care if you and I happen to start arguing about, are you a this or are you a that? Because if you're a this, then we can't be friends. If you're a that, we can't be. And we forget we have so much more in common because we get so caught up in these like, feminism, I believe, is one of the things that needs to be like, we need to move beyond. We're better than that. And it doesn't even benefit ladies. From like my understanding, it doesn't. We see that right now. You see dude athletes showing up in women's sports, kicking ass, coming in first place, and then you see people who don't really care because they're essentially CCP spies. You see Biden sitting there and just be like, yeah, kids need to be able to have access to like, transitioning and stuff. And it's like, whoa, fella, whoa there, keep the kids out of that's all there is to it. Keep the kids out of any of these like adult topics. The rest of it is fine. You do with your adult life as you wish. Nobody gives a rat's ass. And that's how you care about each other, by not giving a rat's ass, fam. Seriously, because if it doesn't concern me, I don't like if it's, you know what I mean? But if it's like society in terms of bringing up healthy people, in terms of being able to contribute and be able to, and we got them all mixed up with all sorts of different ideologies and thinking they're always victims of circumstance, that they can't change anything. And don't get me wrong, man, I'm a person too. I'm a full-blown here. You're like, no shit. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, we all go through these. Like, I have a day where I'm like feeling a little bit whatevs. But then at the end of the day, I really do believe in the power of the individual, the power of, and that's what I friggin' love about Canada and the United States, to be specific, because there is a notion of individuality and freedom that really goes, it's the cornerstones of like Western civilization. And it's one of those things that differentiates the United States, and I'd like to think Canada as well, and again, Western society to a certain extent. But like, that's the direction I hope to see us move towards. And yeah, today's episode was not such a, writing down ideas, thinking about them. I'm trying to like, come up with, but these are the things that I do. It took my time this week a little bit, and we'll see how it evolves and how it formula. Because like, yeah, feminism doesn't make sense to me, because like the counter of that would be Meninism, and Meninism sounds like just a complete retarded idea. And if you had a movement called Meninism, you'd be like, that's retarded. Like if there was a movement for about 70 to 100 years, let's say, called Meninism, and all they were concerned about is bringing down the matriarchy, everybody would be like, you're retarded. And it wouldn't even benefit men's. It would probably be working out just as feminism has been working out for ladies, really. Because at the end of the day, man, it's just like, man, everybody needs each other. Everybody needs to like realize and respect each other's values for the people that we are. And yes, there's a teeny tiny less than 1% or even sometimes less than 1% of the population that may feel completely like they were born in the wrong body. Everybody to a certain degree has had, you have growing pains, you have questions when you're coming up as a teenager, young adulthood. I really, up until like, I would say for me, I would say everything kind of started making sense at like 25 to, I would say 30, dude. I'm not even kidding, because it's life is being extended, life is being experienced differently than the way it used to be. People used to, it used to be like you were way back, you were 18, 19, 20, you were starting families, but we've had the luxury of now a few generations like trying to slow it down or a little bit, for better or worse, probably for better, I would assume, just because I think it's good to have life. And yes, certain decisions you need to have, in my opinion anyway, and I don't know what I'm talking about like almost all day, every day. I'm just trying to figure it out. So to have some sort of like, this is where we are, this is where we can go move forward from. But these are just what I think about. And yeah, feminism would not make sense. It never made sense to me. I did think about it when I was younger and then in schooling as an idea, but in terms of it being something that, man, it's, yeah, because again, the opposite of it doesn't make sense. Meninism, a Meninist movement. Boys are the future. Imagine you heard things like that and just like, it just pits society together. It's one of those things that you could see that it's an ideology. It's been hijacked. And even, you know what, in the beginning, ideologies could have great, but that's the thing. Any ideology or any movement can be great in the beginning, but we should always keep in mind individuals and society and groups are always susceptible to being, ideas can be hijacked, and they will be hijacked, because that's what, especially if it has some sort of a innate goodness behind the intent. Initially, I'm pretty sure like it started off as a good thing. Yeah, let's get women to, be more involved in society. Absolutely. But has it been just, it's gone off the rails. It's been many a decades that it's gone off the rails, and we need to just move beyond these things by, again, race, gender identity politics, blaming the weather for everything and dismissing the real issues that are, what are we doing with our monies, man? What's going on with the banking system? What is going on? It's crazy. And in all these years, like, Justin Trudeau actually never has really addressed everyday people's concerns and issues, like cost of living, dude. But I don't need you to be concerned. The Canadians regularly don't need you to be concerned too much about the climate change or trans issues, because again, that's 1 to less than 1%. Not to say, but again, we have to say these things, and we have to come back and say that we don't mean to, dismiss anybody, and it's never been ever like that. But these guys use these weak, extreme arguments so to, again, create a buffer or a shield for all the crazy shit that they do. No different than it's done in different places. It's just a different cloak, different attire, but the same mechanisms are at play, is what I'm trying to say. And today's episode's been a fun-filled, adventurous day. Again, how much TikTok is enough TikTok? Again, if they're not confused, give them more TikTok. What else is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gents? That's all I want to say for today, actually. That's all I want to say. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Today was just, it was a mixed bag of things. We do discuss everything and nothing, and next week we're going to be back at it again. It's fun day, Friday fun day. I hope you all have a fantastic start to your weekend, wherever you are in and around this beautiful planet. Again, if you'd like to watch more of these videos, where can you find it? Follow me on Instagram. There is YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. So get the full-length videos there. That's the full-length videos right there. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. And if there's and if you're like, man, I like to contribute, if that's the fella that you are, if that's the type of lady that you are, you're like, I like to give back to the show and watch you grow, watch the show grow, you can check out patreon.com/RobSadri. Otherwise, everything is there in the catalog for you to check out, and there's going to be plenty more. This is just the beginning. We are beginning to teeth, as we're teething as a young storyteller teeths through his journey. Watch me teeth. Love y'all. Talk to y'all very soon. Have a great weekend. Peace out.